Okay, so, for this deep dive, you listeners have sent us into some pretty meta territory.
Yeah.
We're going to be unpacking, get this, instructions on how to make a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, someone out there is analyzing how we do this show, this very show.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say is a little unsettling.
Right.
But also incredibly intriguing.
It is fascinating, isn't it? It speaks to a real growing awareness, I think, of the power of information and how it's presented. Whoever is behind this analysis, they're clearly interested in more than just entertainment.
Yeah.
They're really trying to dig into how these deep dives, that we do influence your understanding of the world.
Exactly. And what's even wilder is that these instructions specifically mention Amazon,
Right.
which leads us to our main source material. Amazon's privacy notice, freshly updated March 31st, 2024.
Wow.
Talk about a coincidence.
It is interesting, and I think the timing of this is really crucial, too.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about some static document here, but really a living document, that reflects how Amazon's data practices are evolving. This isn't just about, legal protection or something. It's a glimpse into the data-driven world that they and we, by extension, live in.
So someone's studying how we break down information.
Right.
We're diving into the depths of Amazon's data practices, all with a brand new privacy update.
Yeah.
Feels like we're onto something big here, wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Yes.
let's start with the basics.
Yeah.
What exactly is Amazon collecting, and how much do they know about us?
That is the million-dollar question.
It is.
And their updated notice actually offers a surprisingly detailed answer.
Okay.
And it goes way beyond, just the information that you consciously hand over, like your name, your address, your credit card number.
Yeah, of course.
Which is, obviously a part of it.
Right. I need that noise-canceling headset right now. kind of data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's more revealing is the vast amount of information they gather kind of behind the scenes.
Yep.
Every click, every page scroll, every time you pause a video to let your cat chase the screen, it's all being tracked.
Wait, seriously? They know how often my cat interrupts my movie nights.
They know.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, think of it as your digital exhaust, right?
Digital exhaust. Okay.
Yeah, it's that trail of data, right, that we leave behind as we navigate the online world. And it seems insignificant, these little data points. But Amazon, with his vast network of services and devices,
Right.
has become incredibly adept at capturing and analyzing that exhaust.
Okay, so they're tracking my browsing, my purchases,
Yeah.
even my cat-related viewing habits. Got it.
Uh-huh.
But they also mention collecting information from other sources.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Right.
Are they, tapping my phone calls now?
Not quite yet, at least.
Okay.
But it does highlight how far Amazon's reach extends beyond its website, right?
Sure.
We're talking about subsidiaries like Audible, Whole Foods,
Yeah.
co-branded credit cards,
Right.
even partnerships with other retailers. All of these interactions contribute to that ever-growing profile of you as a consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the concept of data exhaust becomes really important.
Okay.
Imagine for a second you're browsing for, let's say, noise-canceling headphones.
I have been, actually. Yeah, recently.
And you browse for them on Amazon.
Yeah.
But you don't buy them.
Right.
You're just, doing some research.
Sure.
Then you visit a travel blog, completely unrelated.
Okay.
And you see an ad for it. You guessed it, those same headphones.
Yeah.
Coincidence? Not quite.
Right.
What's happening is Amazon has essentially shared your browsing data.
Wow.
And now you're seeing targeted ads across the web.
That's you know what? That is unsettlingly accurate, because I swear I saw those exact headphones on a website yesterday.
Right.
And it wasn't Amazon.
Yeah.
It was a completely unrelated site. Yeah.
Exactly, you see. So,
Okay, so we've established that Amazon collects a massive amount of data.
yeah, a lot.
But the bigger question is, what are they actually doing with it?
Yeah, that's right.
So we've gotten through the what of it all. They're
Sure.
collecting a lot. We get it.
Yeah.
But now let's dive into the why.
Right.
What are they actually doing with all of this information?
Yeah.
How does it impact us, the everyday users?
Well, and the how it impacts you part, I think, is really crucial, because it's often very subtle.
Okay.
Like, it's happening kind of beneath the surface of our online interactions.
Right.
Take, for example, the section on recommendations and personalization.
Okay.
Sounds pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah, helpful.
Yeah, Amazon learns what you like and suggests products that you might enjoy.
It's convenient.
Yeah, sounds super convenient.
Yeah.
Until you realize that convenience, it comes at a cost.
Right.
It's not just about helpful suggestions.
Right.
It's about influencing your choices.
Okay.
Right. Maybe you're steered towards certain brands or you end up paying a bit more for something.
Right.
Because the algorithm knows that you're more likely to impulse buy that, organic cotton sweater when it's paired with just the right influencer's recommendation.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the subtle nudges of a data-driven marketplace.
Right.
And remember that digital exhaust we talked about?
Yes.
The more data Amazon collects, the more powerful these algorithms become at predicting and ultimately shaping our desires.
Wow.
It's like they're almost like playing like digital chess with our subconscious.
It's a little creepy, when you put it that way.
Yeah, and it's not just about what we buy, right? I mean, their notice also mentions using data to provide voice, image, and camera services.
Right.
Which is basically Alexa listening in, analyzing, everything from, our musical tastes to our late night snack cravings.
Right. Exactly.
All of it.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually chuckled when I got to the part about fraud prevention and credit risks.
Oh, right.
It seems a bit ironic, don't you think? Given all the recent scams and data breaches we hear about constantly.
Well, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does highlight the double-edged sword, right, of data collection. On the one hand, these systems are designed to flag suspicious activity.
Right.
Amazon's using your data, in a way, to try and protect you.
Sure.
But then on the other hand, this level of surveillance can feel very intrusive.
Right, especially when companies are also utilizing our data for marketing and profit.
Right, of course, yeah, absolutely.
And now they're getting into financial services,
right,
offering loans, lines of credit.
Right.
Are they using my shopping history to determine my creditworthiness?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
He buys a lot of cat toys, but at least he's consistent.
I mean, it's not as far-fetched as it sounds, right?
That line between, these tech companies and financial institutions is becoming increasingly blurry.
Right.
They're using data to assess credit risks in ways that the traditional banks never could.
Wow.
They're looking at everything from your purchase history, like you said, to your social media activity.
It's true.
I mean, it's both fascinating and a little unnerving.
It really is.
But to be fair to Amazon, I mean, their notice does mention user control and transparency.
Which, if I'm being honest, always feels like the fine print section of any agreement.
Right.
The part where things get really vague and confusing on purpose.
Sure, yeah.
They make it sound like we have all these choices, like managing cookies, opting out of communications, but is it really that straightforward? Okay, I'm in the what choices do I have section. And honestly, it feels like reading those terms and conditions we all just blindly scroll through. Right. I mean, I know exactly what you mean. They're giving us options, but are they the right options?
Right. That's the question, isn't it? And I think, the language is often so vague that it leads to this feeling of control without true agency.
Right.
For instance, you can manage your data.
Right.
But what does that really mean?
Right. Exactly.
Are we talking about actually hitting a delete button?
Right.
Or just, tweaking a few settings while the data train keeps on rolling?
Right. They throw out terms like adjusting ad preferences, which, let's be real, who has ever successfully navigated those mazes?
Exactly. It's a dark art.
It really is.
Yeah.
Art or accessing and deleting your data. Again, sounds great on paper.
In theory, sure.
But try actually deleting your Amazon account.
Right. I mean,
I swear it's like trying to find a mythical artifact.
It's impossible.
Hidden in their digital jungle.
Yeah, almost impossible.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
Yeah, it's like they're presenting this illusion of choice.
Right.
Betting that most people won't have the time. The energy or frankly the, technical know-how.
Right.
To really navigate these really complex settings.
Right, which kind of circles back to those podcast instructions we talked about.
Yeah.
Whoever's analyzing how we're, dissecting all of this.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe they're looking for ways to make these privacy notices more user-friendly, more transparent.
Yeah.
Or maybe, and this is me, maybe being a little cynical, but
go on. Go on.
Maybe they're studying how to optimize the framing of this information.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, how to nudge users towards certain choices without them even realizing that they're being nudged.
Right.
You know.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that is a whole other level of data influencing reality right there.
It's, like we're living in this giant behavioral experiment and the algorithms are just taking notes.
And that is, I think, the bigger picture here, right? I mean, this deep dive into their privacy notice is really just a snapshot, of a much broader digital landscape. Okay.
It's a reminder that every app we download, every website we visit, every like we click, it all generates data that's being collected.
That's true.
Analyzed and ultimately used to influence us.
So it's less about, demonizing Amazon in particular.
Right, exactly.
And more about recognizing the patterns at play across, the entire digital world.
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about being, informed digital citizens, right?
Informed digital citizens. I like that.
Asking yourself.
Yeah.
What information am I comfortable sharing?
Right.
What are the potential trade-offs here?
Yeah.
And how can I be more mindful of my digital footprint?
It's like that old saying, knowledge is power, right?
It really is.
The more we know, the more we understand about how our data is being used, the better equipped we are to navigate this increasingly complex kind of landscape.
100%. And who knows, maybe, by unpacking these very issues, we're giving that mystery podcast analyst something to think about as well, right?
No, that would be a meta twist.
Right.
But on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive. Okay. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed out there, don't worry, you're not alone. It is a lot to process.
It's a lot.
But just remember, you're not powerless.
Yeah.
Every click, every choice you make online, it makes a difference.
That's right, yeah.
And on that note of empowerment, we'll leave you with this. Stay curious, keep asking those questions, and as always, read the small print.
Read the small print.